You can still see yourself going back down to welterweight, or are you looking to just stick within it?
Just focus on this fight, but after that we will see. But we always have some different plans, but we'll see what's going on.
And who do you think's going to win in the fight between Jack Della and Islam?
It's a good fight, but a tough fight. I go a little bit more on Islam.
As the highly anticipated fight between Islam Makhachev and Jack Della Maddalena draws near, MMA experts and fighters alike have been debating how Makhachev will perform in the welterweight division.
I was thinking Jack Della Maddalena would lose. He got injury, and I was like almost 2 years without fight.
Yeah.
And then he come to different level, bro. He was like gonna be a board fight by points and things like that. But bro, what he did was really good work. He grew up a lot.
Yeah, but
he come a different level.
Yeah, but Islam is a different animal. If there's one thing that I could say in that fight, Islam Makhachev, he gets on top of you.
Yeah.
He's a blanket, bro. The top control that Islam has in comparison to Bilal is completely different.
One of the primary concerns regarding Makhachev's transition to welterweight is how his wrestling-heavy approach will fare against a fighter like Della Maddalena, who possesses exceptional striking skills and strong takedown defense. Israel Adesanya believes that Della Maddalena's striking could cause significant issues for Makhachev. If the Australian can maintain range and avoid getting taken down, he could throw off Makhachev's rhythm, forcing the Russian to get creative with his attacks. However, Adesanya is quick to point out that Makhachev's ability to seamlessly switch to wrestling at any moment makes him a threat that Della Maddalena cannot afford to overlook. The Australian will need to stay sharp and cautious to avoid falling into the trap of Makhachev's grappling.
Della versus Islam. How are we feeling about that?
I think Della is going to get it done. I feel from talking to Tim and also seeing Della, and also I've only sparred Della once, like not really hard crazy, but and I didn't try and take him down at all, but I've seen him at your gym sparring, and his scrambles are crazy.
Yeah, he's good.
Even watching him with Bilal as well, and Gilbert Burns, his scrambles are crazy, and I feel Islam would feel like he bit off more than he could chew once he gets in there with him, because when he puts some things on him, he's like, oh shit, I'm not standing with this guy, I have to take him down. And then he tries, gets him down, and he gets back up, or he couldn't get him down, because he's a big dude. People don't realize how big Della is as well. He's solid. So I really
Dense,
think,
man, just dense.
Dense, yeah. Like when I felt, like I said, with sparring, and then it's just the weight behind it, and the way he throws it, the body banging, man, fucking good. This fight, Van Vickers said he's gonna knock him out, and I believe him. I honestly believe him, because I just think he's not gonna be able to hand with him on the scrambles, or when he gets back up, he's gonna, like, Della is just so stoic. And he just, like you said, is on his own game. And when he does that, I really think he's gonna get him. And I can't wait till that happens, and wherever it is, I'm gonna be there.
While Adesanya's perspective highlights the striking dynamic, other analysts, such as UFC welterweight Ian Gary, focus on Della Maddalena's takedown defense as the key to victory. Gary argues that the Australian's ability to stuff Makhachev's takedown attempts, paired with his size advantage, could give him an upper hand in the fight. Moving up to 170 pounds presents a challenge for Makhachev, and if he's unable to impose his wrestling game, the fight could very well turn into a striking battle, one where Della Maddalena could capitalize on his technical proficiency. Gary believes that Della Maddalena's combination of defensive skills and size could be crucial, especially given Makhachev's reliance on dominating opponents on the ground.
Who do you think wins, Jack or Islam?
It's such a tough one to talk about. Islam is phenomenal. He's good everywhere. Size matters. When you're talking about an extra 15 pounds, when you look at the size of Volkanovski versus Jack Della Maddalena, there's a big size discrepancy. And Volk gave him a good fight. And then Dustin Poirier, it wasn't absolutely completely dominant by his time. It was a tough fight. Size is going to play a huge part. Even on the ground, I feel like Jack could get it done with just some clean boxing and good takedown defense. But I can absolutely see Islam coming in and doing what Islam does and going out there and just looks like the phenomenal mixed martial artist he is.
However, some experts draw parallels to Dustin Poirier's struggle against Makhachev, suggesting that Della Maddalena could encounter similar difficulties. Poirier, who has first-hand experience of Makhachev's grappling prowess, noted that the Russian's takedowns fundamentally changed the dynamic of a fight. When Makhachev takes control of the ground game, it often forces his opponents to fight from a disadvantageous position, giving him the upper hand. For Della Maddalena to avoid falling into this trap, he must be able to prevent Makhachev from closing the distance and initiating clinches.
If you're worried about takedowns, you know, your shots are different. You're not sitting on everything and standing in front of the guy. You're trying to move and be light on your feet. I think the first 2 rounds will tell us how this fight's gonna go.
Yeah, it'll be interesting if he wins and Ilya wins, because Ilya's also saying this week he wants to go up to welterweight if he wins this, which, as you said, would stall out the division further. I don't think the other lightweights want that, but I couldn't imagine 5'7" Ilya fighting at 170.
Adding another layer of intrigue to the matchup is the input from Craig Jones, a highly regarded Brazilian jiu-jitsu coach who has helped fighters such as Alexander Volkanovski prepare for Makhachev. Jones has been instrumental in working with Della Maddalena and refining his grappling defense. This could give the Australian a distinct advantage, as Jones' insights may allow him to better negate Makhachev's ground game. If Della Maddalena is able to keep the fight standing and prevent Makhachev from securing dominant positions on the ground, his striking could be the deciding factor in the fight.
How do you think the fight against Islam goes?
I think it's a super difficult fight. Obviously, he's faced Volk twice, so the first one very competitive, and now we're facing a guy that's best scrambling ability, period, in all of MMA. I think that's what Bilal struggled with. So I think the size difference is going to be quite a lot than people think. And we've seen how Volk did on the ground, how much Islam struggled with him. Jack beats Islam, puts Islam in a difficult position. Does he now go back down to fight Ilya after he loses?
George Masvidal shares a similar sentiment. Masvidal suggests that Makhachev's success at lightweight could be compromised at welterweight due to the difficulty of cutting weight. Moving up a division can often be a physically taxing challenge, and Masvidal believes that Della Maddalena's relentless aggression and finishing ability could be the perfect tools to exploit Makhachev's potential weaknesses. Masvidal, who respects Della Maddalena's dominant performance against Bilal Muhammad, sees the Australian as a real threat to Makhachev's reign at welterweight.
I've seen Islam, bro. He's a big guy. He's sucking out a lot of weight to get to 55. I think he might start doing better at 70. Problem is though, Jack is special. We're gonna see just how special he is if he beats Islam Jack, #1 pound for. Wow, that's impressive. You know, I'm leaning towards Islam, brother.
Oh, really?
You know, but I really think it's gonna be a tough fight for him, but a great fight, man.
Jack was able to defend takedown attempts by Bilal.
Bilal has the best cardio in MMA, but Bilal doesn't have Islam's technique. Not same technique, not same. Very good, very aggressive. Bilal never stops. A dog, attack. But Islam is like smart, man. Boom. You know, Islam's level of wrestling is above. His stand-up game is improving. I don't think he could go stand-up in the beginning with Jack. Jack has way better hands, way better range, faster, stronger. But as the rounds go on later and later, he could do.
Ilia Topuria also weighs in on the battle, suggesting that Della Maddalena should target Makhachev's body to counter his wrestling game. Topuria believes that by attacking the body early, Della Maddalena could slow down Makhachev's takedown attempts, forcing him to rethink his approach. Though this might seem like a subtle tactic, Topuria sees it as a vital strategy to keep Makhachev at bay and prevent him from gaining the necessary momentum for his takedowns.
The advice, like, he has to work the straight body shots, because that takes away the intentions of the takedown. If he works with the straight body shots, he's gonna stop his intentions of the takedowns. And he's doing a great job in the striking. I like how he fights.
In contrast, Stephen Thompson believes that Della Maddalena might be taking on too much too soon. While Thompson acknowledges Della Maddalena's talent, he points out that fighters like Shavkat Rakhmonov and Ian Gary have earned their shot at the title and may feel that Della Maddalena's rapid rise is somewhat unfair. Thompson feels that such a significant leap in competition could be a risky move for the Australian, especially when considering the long-standing contenders in the division.
Who do you think wins that fight between Islam and Jack Della Maddalena?
Well, first off, I gotta say, if I was Shavkat Rakhmonov or Ian Gary or somebody that is right there who's really worked hard to get there, I'd be pretty pissed. Because, you know, this guy JDM just got the title, and then he's giving somebody else a shot at what I've earned the right to have, you know, which is the title shot. Like, give JDM a shot at, you know, give him 1 or 2 more guys. If he beats them, then give him somebody outside the division. But I would be kind of pissed. I would be kind of upset that they're giving this guy immediately somebody from 155 division. Now, I think it's a very tough fight for Islam Makhachev. Bigger guy, somebody who won the title from somebody with a similar style in Bilal Muhammad. I do believe Islam Makhachev striking is a lot better than Bilal Muhammad's, but their pressure, their cardio, their wrestling background, fairly similar. Obviously, I think one would be better than the other, but he's faced somebody a lot exactly like him. So I think it would be a tough fight for Islam for sure.
Bilal Muhammad, who recently fought JDM, predicts that Makhachev's grappling will ultimately prove too much for Della Maddalena. Muhammad, who knows firsthand the dangers of Makhachev's ability to control the pace on the ground, believes that the Russian's dominant wrestling style will be the deciding factor in the fight. According to Muhammad, Makhachev's pressure and ground control are simply too overwhelming for most fighters, and he expects that to be the case here as well.
How do you think Islam versus JDM goes down? Honestly, I think Islam will probably take it down. Like, Islam's wrestling really good. Like, even with me, I really commit to it, I took it down. Their team's so good at, like, hacking in a game plan and sticking to it. You said that you kind of abandoned the game plan a little. You think if you got a rematch, you would change the game plan a bit? No, I mean, honestly, I think I won three rounds, but you have to go out there and make it more clear. When you get into the cage and you're fighting, right, you get into that, oh, like, all right, I feel like striking. Let's keep going. I'll do well with it. Let's keep going. If your coach is trying to get you to focus on the game plan again, it's like, man, I'm doing well with it. You're thinking you're doing better than you are. Every fight, you gain something from it, right? This fight, I gained something from it.
However, Schultz Oliveira, who has fought Makhachev, sees things a bit differently. Oliveira praises Della Maddalena's patience and striking ability, noting that the Australian has the potential to wear down Makhachev over time with his skillful striking. However, Oliveira also acknowledges that Makhachev's grappling is a major game changer. To win, Della Maddalena will need to keep the fight standing and avoid engaging in any grappling exchanges. If he can do that, his striking could prove to be the key to victory.
O que você acha que ganha entre o Jack Della Maddalena e o Islam?
Maddalena, ele é um jogo muito complicado, porque ele é um cara que ele não vem pra te nocautear rápido, ele vem pra te finalizar, ele vem te magoando, né?
Aos poucos, né?
Aos poucos. É o que ele fez agora na luta contra o Bilal. Só que eu acho que o Islam vai se dar muito bem nessa categoria, né, mano? Agora vai estar muito mais forte, é um jogo que, tipo, ele gosta de agarrar e botar pra baixo. Eu acho que o Jack Maddalena fazia a mesma luta que ele fez, né, agora contra o Bilal, batendo, movimentando, saindo, machucando, é uma luta, mas se deixar o Islam agarrar e botar pra baixo é o time.
Daniel Cormier raises further concerns about Makhachev's ability to control a larger opponent. Cormier believes that Makhachev's wrestling may need some refinement ahead of this fight, particularly in terms of setups and positioning. He points to instances where Makhachev has struggled with fighters who have strong takedown defense, such as Dustin Poirier. If Della Maddalena can showcase his defensive wrestling skills, he could force Makhachev to adjust his game plan, which might give the Australian a fighting chance.
JDM don't wrestle, but he was defending well, and he puts damage on you.
Off rip,
starts putting damage on you, and he can box.
So how do you see that fight with him and Islam? Does he have the ability to beat a guy like Islam?
He'll get takedown attempts coming at him very early. This time. The last fight, he didn't have to deal with that when he was fresh. If Islam can start to pressure him early and take him down early, or even just make him wrestle, he might struggle. I don't know that he's ever felt anything like he's gonna feel, because it's not gonna be double legs and single legs with Islam. It's gonna be him playing with his feet, tripping him, moving around on the octagon side, doing things that he don't recognize as freely.
But she didn't answer the question.
The problem is, like, I can only give you that because I can't truly make a prediction. The job doesn't allow it.
On the other hand, Demetrius Johnson and MMA Guru stand firm in their belief that Makhachev will ultimately come out on top. Johnson, widely regarded as one of the greatest MMA fighters of all time, believes that Makhachev's relentless pressure and ability to dictate the pace of a fight will break Della Maddalena over time. Johnson highlights Makhachev's takedowns and precise knee strikes as key tools that will frustrate Della Maddalena, eventually wearing him down. MMA Guru also predicts a Makhachev win, suggesting that while Della Maddalena may initially defend well, the constant threat of the takedown and Makhachev's ability to land powerful strikes will eventually overpower him.
Who you got? Ilja Islam.
I've got Makhachev.
I got Makhachev as well.
And I've got Makhachev second round TKO with a knee in the
Oh, yeah, you going bad rounds.
Yeah, I think he'll shoot a couple takedowns. Ilya will stuff it. Ilya will catch him a few times and people will go ooh and ah. And then when they clash again, I think Makhachev will go grab him. Ilya will think, oh, he's shooting again. Tight clinch, bang, body, knee to the head. Ilya's all of a sudden stumble, downhill from there. I think he beats Oliveira with a body shot though.
Gilbert Burns offers his perspective on the fight, acknowledging that Makhachev's decision to vacate his lightweight title and move up to welterweight is a significant one. Burns believes that the weight cut at 155 pounds had taken its toll on Makhachev, which makes the welterweight division an intriguing challenge. However, like many others, Burns sees Della Maddalena as a well-rounded fighter who could cause problems for Makhachev. Burns believes that with Craig Jones in his corner, Della Maddalena's grappling defense could be a decisive factor in keeping the fight off the mat and allowing his striking to shine.
What did you think about the Islam vacating the belt and going up and immediately getting a shot at the welterweight bout? And what do you think about that? And how different is that fight going to play out than what we saw versus Bilal?
That's going to be a great fight. Islam's working very hard. He's being saying vocal that he wants to go up to 170. I think he's big. I think he's a big boy. He killed himself to make 55. I think that's the right division for Islam. He just tweeted something after the fight that he will not vacate the title, and then he vacated the title. I don't know. I think I think he was a little okay. If you're going up, we gotta. I don't know, but probably that was in the negotiation. And yeah, I like him moving up. I proving himself. He's #1 pound for pound right now. It's a good fight. Jack and Islam closer than people think, especially with Jack Della Maddalena doing a lot of training with Volk, with Craig Jones, those guys that kind of crack the Islam on that first Volk fight. I think they're gonna have a lot of info, a lot of study, a lot of answers. It's closer than people think, this fight. I really like this fight. I don't have time right now. I didn't have time to dig deep a little too much on that fight, but I think it's way closer than people think. And JDM has a clear shot on beating Islam, you know?
In the end, the fight between Islam Makhachev and Jack Della Maddalena promises to be a fascinating battle with numerous potential outcomes. While Makhachev's grappling and relentless pressure make him a tough challenge for any fighter, Della Maddalena's striking ability, size, and improved takedown defense give him a legitimate chance to win. The outcome will likely depend on whether Della Maddalena can avoid the takedowns and make the fight a striking contest, or if Makhachev's wrestling can overcome the size and skill of the Australian. Either way, the debate surrounding Makhachev's move to welterweight is one of the most intriguing storylines in MMA right now.